For more awesome content, head to ystech.org, link in the description.
It's no secret that building a PC in 2021 has been difficult with a budget price range. With a decent PC running upwards of 1,800, budget builds today are looking in the range of a 6-core processor and something around a 1050 Ti. So honestly, it's not that great, but at the same time, that's the stuff you can get on a budget below 1,500. The 1050 Ti sounds really like a 2017 build compared to one in 2021. In recent months, inflation has been on the rise, so I thought, how would a build from 2017 compare in price to one in 2021? Now, I actually have a build from 2017 that fits this bill quite nicely. It has a Ryzen 5 1500X, a quad-core processor, a Asus Prime B350M-A, 8 gigs of DDR4, 2133 RAM, it's DDR4, storage, a Western Digital M.2 120 gig SSD, a 1050 Ti 4GB model, a case, the Corsair Spec M2, and a 500 watt power supply from EVGA. This build is actually really similar to the build I built around the same time that I released this video in 2017. At the time, the build was about 1,110 New Zealand dollars, and it was really good for an entry-level gaming PC that offered great performance for the money. Now, of course, prices did slightly fall in 2018 again, but from 2017-esque build, the 1050 Ti is really reminiscent of it. In the video, as of the 12th of December 2017, the build was 1,110 New Zealand dollars, which is pretty decent. Compared to today's PCs, it's a bit lacking in terms of its specs, especially with the quad-core CPU compared to a 6-core one that you can put in a relatively budget build today. On this spreadsheet, you can see the cheapest gaming PC category. On this category, one of the best ones to buy pre-built is actually the Mercenary GTX 1050 Ti PC from Computer Lounge. Now this is including a graphics card, CPU and all the works, compared to the PBTech upgrade box, which you'll have to buy a graphics card separately. So what's something that's quite common in today's builds as it is in 2017 for budget builds is the GTX 1050 Ti. It's good to note how important this is because although 4 years later, the 1050 Ti still plays an important role in the current market due to how expensive parts have become. So on that note, let's make a similar hypothetical build in 2017 and 2021. So this is the one that I've gone for, and it's called the cheapest October build. So this script was made a little while ago, but what I've gone for is an Intel i5-10400, a 6-core processor, very decent, $259, a Asus Prime H510M-E motherboard, just a cheap one to complement the CPU, $144 or $145. Memory, I've gone with the G-Skill Ripjaw 16 gigs, DDR4 2666, CL19, $129, so an upgrade over the previous 8GB from the old build from 2017 into the 2021 build. The storage for the SSD, I've gone with the Samsung 980 500GB M.2 NVMe drive, $105, again an upgrade. The video card is the same, the graphics card is the Zotac GeForce GTX 1050 Ti 4GB model, $359. For the case, I've gone with the Silverstone PS15 Micro ATX mid-tower, $69. The power supply, I've gone with the Cooler Master 650 watt, bronze certified, $98. And I've gone with a 3-pack of case fans for $79 from Cooler Master. Please note the figures I am about to give are taken from Thursday, the 28th of October 2021, when the script was made. In summary, in 2021, you get a better processor, a 6-core processor such as a i5-10400 or 11400F, or even if you can get it on special, a Ryzen 5 3600. Motherboard is relatively similar from 2017 to today. It's a budget build, so I don't expect much to change from there. For the RAM, now you get 16 gigs of RAM instead of 8 gigs, although it is DDR4 2666 today and CL19. However, it is still 16 gigs, so better over 8. You can now get cheap M.2 NVMe SSDs compared to what you could back then. So that's great to see, considering that prices have fallen for SSDs relatively over the years. The SATA ones, such as the Samsung 870 EVO, are also about $120 for about 500 gigs, so that's also a good option as well. The graphics card is about the same for the money in a currently really bear market. This means you will have a similar graphics card performance to 2017, although driver updates could have potentially made the 1050 Ti a bit better, but keep in mind it's still the same graphics card. The case, well, cases tend to be a bit better quality for now in New Zealand from what I've noticed, and with commonly available tempered glass side panels and as well more common airflow front panels is a great upside, and I think it's a great way to move forward with cases in New Zealand. I think they've become a lot better quality and the prices have fallen quite a lot. Also, I added a 3-pack of case fans in as well. All up today, the build will cost you $1,253.33, or when recording the script, it will cost you $1,244.33. So a little bit of a discrepancy, about more than $11, $12, but that's alright. So what does this mean? Like, today you're definitely getting a better build, but I haven't factored inflation into it. So what happens when I include inflation in these calculations? So in 2017, on average, the inflation rate looks to be, the general CPI inflation rate used to be about 2% for the year. And currently in 2021, we're looking anywhere around 4.9% in 2021 as of the 28th of October 2021. And recording the script today, also it's still 4.9%. So inflation rates are a bit high, to be honest, at the moment. So, well, that's kind of expected because of the quote unquote recession or whatever you want to look at it, but general slowdown and maybe increased demand as well. Multiple factors, I won't go into it, but in any case, inflation is rising, so there's that. So how do we even compare on inflation basis? How do we compare the two builds? So we can use a CPI calculator. So the same build in 2017 now would have cost $1,220 in 2021 Q3 with an inflation rate of 4.9%, which is actually relatively close to this build right now of $1,253, or when the time of recording a little bit less at $1,244. So it's relatively close to the one we've got right here, and even inflation adjusted prices. In reverse, today's build would have cost $1,140.01 to build with superior parts such as a 6-core processor, 500 gigs of SSD, storage space, 16 gigs of RAM, and some other parts such as case fans. This shows us that on the surface from the whole PC build, you are now getting better parts with a similar budget. Today, you are getting better value for money than what you could have back then. This is great because on the whole, this means you now get potentially a superior build. But wait, let's see the graphics card for graphics card, tit for tat. For the 1050 Ti, costing $278 in 2017, it would have cost $305.63 in 2021. Now let's do it in reverse. In reverse, the similar 1050 Ti costing $369 today would have cost you $335.64 in 2017 Q4. So what this means is today's 1050 Ti still costs more in 2017 than what you could have bought it for back then. Also, that the 2017 1050 Ti was still cheaper with inflation to today's similar 1050 Ti. Honestly, this is really sad, and this is the cheapest 1050 Ti on the market right now as far as I know. So what am I trying to get at here? Is that games have progressed, newer more demanding titles are out now, but besides the upgrades you get the same performance from a graphics card, and hence less performance on the graphics card due to newer titles and the updates that have been put up into these titles that make them harder to run. This also means that the FPS per dollar is around the same, whereas what we want to have happen is the FPS to increase per dollar, because performance should have increased purely based off the graphics card. I won't get into the whole build due to there now being a 6-core processor for within a similar budget and it having an impact on increasing the FPS in most titles. So in terms of buying power, the performance in games is similar. It's a 1050 Ti from back then and it's a 1050 Ti from now. There's not much reason for other than other parts being in the build for performance differences. But if we're using the same 1050 Ti, for example, obviously this example doesn't, but let's just say it is the same 1050 Ti, the price difference is still there. So in terms of buying power, the performance in games is similar, but the value has eroded as it's a very similar PC build from 2017 to now. The same build has eroded at that full price due to, in my eyes, more demanding titles or updates to games that existed back then that would be even harder to run today. What we should have seen is not stagnation, but instead an increase in performance. For the same price, you would think you should get something that is much higher in performance today in terms of the graphics card's performance, but no, you get the same. Now this is an exceptional market, and what I mean by that is the circumstances are outrageous and the things that are happening maybe once in a lifetime, who knows. But I did want to try and put my perspective and to show why I still think cards like the 1050 Ti are still not good to buy brand new in 2021. As a whole, you are getting per se better parts and better performance for a similar amount of money from 2017 to compared to 2021. But the graphics card, I think, is what truly lets us down here a lot. There are cards like the RX 580 in between 2017 and 2021 that you could get for under about $280 New Zealand if you looked in the right places, or even under $300. The RX 580 performs a lot better than the 1050 Ti did, and could ever do. However, those cards have also risen in price by quite a lot. At the end of the day, the one that loses is the consumer. The people that are able to sell these cards at exorbitant prices are the ones who win, and unfortunately this is not a buyer's market at all, and I don't know when this is gonna stop. For the near future and into next year, honestly at this point, if you can see a deal, you might as well grab it. It's gotten to the point where you keep waiting for something to go on special or for the market to fall in price, but I genuinely believe now that this is probably the equilibrium that we're at, and if you want better performance, you're gonna have to pay for it, and you're gonna have to pay for it a lot. At the end of the day, there isn't anything wrong with getting a 1050 Ti right now. It's just that the performance should have increased in terms of being the same price. Again, there's nothing wrong with getting a 1050 Ti in 2021. If that's all you can afford, that's all you can afford. Again, you can go secondhand and try to get something even better. But if you have to buy brand new, then obviously this card you have to go for, or the 1650.
The truth is, as I said, your buying power has effectively been eroded. In summary, in 2021, you are getting better performance and value for money than you could have in 2017, even with inflation adjusted prices. This is due to several upgrades such as more RAM, a 6-core processor, and increased storage, or several other peripherals that can come with the build. But for gaming specifically, the disappointing thing is the graphics card. Tit for tat, the graphics card, the 1050 Ti, has not improved. This is the same card that's been around for nearly 4 years. You would expect performance to increase, such as a new card to replace it at the same price level, but in an insane market like this, that doesn't exist. And manufacturers are looking for ways to fill that budget market by bringing back old wafers for perhaps the 1050 Ti or the RTX 2060. And unfortunately, we're the ones that have to bite the bullet. But, you know, it is what it is, and I just wanted to put that out to get my thoughts out about why you might want to hold off on a card like a 1050 Ti in 2021. Now, honestly, if I were going budget, I would definitely go secondhand for a graphics card, but that's just my personal preference. So that about sums up the video. Check out wisestech.org for more awesome technology content. But other than that, thank you guys very much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!